What's up everybody? Welcome to Rip It or Skip It, where I show you a new piece of gear and tell you if you should rip it or skip it. Pretty self-explanatory. Today we're looking at the new CHUG pedal from Solar Guitars. Solar pedals now. I have a Solar guitar. This is a Solar 𝗵𝗏1.6. It has an EMG 81 in the bridge, 85 in the neck. I was asking people what their opinions were, things they wanted to see, stuff like that. And a lot of people actually said they wanted to hear it compared to a 𝗦𝗣𝗘𝗖𝗜𝗏, so that's why we're actually using it through the 𝗦𝗘𝗘 today. I'm also going to get out the Soldano mini amp because the Soldano SLO pedal released recently, and while I don't have one of those pedals, what I do have is the Soldano SLO mini amp, which is essentially the same thing, just running through a built-in power amp. So we can check out the Soldano SLO pedal and then plug in the CHUG pedal into the effects return on that amp as well and see how they stack up. I'm plugged into the CHUG pedal and I have this running into the effects return of the 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗖𝗜𝗏, so we're only using the power section of the 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏 to power this 𝗦𝗘𝗃 4x12 cabinet, which is mic'd up with an SE Electronics, what is it? SR1, shit. The one I use all the time. I also put some blue nail polish on that thing so you can kind of see where it's set. I didn't do a great job of putting the nail polish on there, but at least it's something, you know, you can kind of tell what's going on there. All right, let's find out if we're gonna rip it or skip it. Right away, there is a noise gate built in. You can tell when the noise gate is active because of the red light. It'll turn green when it's ready to rip. Not super inspiring there, but that's not surprising because, you know, amps and pedals and stuff aren't really meant to be played at noon, so let's dial it in here a bit. So in dialing it in, it is kind of similar to the 𝗦𝗘𝗏 in a lot of ways, especially with that high frequency and that low frequency gain. I do find the same thing that when I'm dialing in the 𝗦𝗘𝗏, it's just like not a tremendous amount of gain. And that's not to say that it doesn't have a lot of gain. I just think for me personally, when I turn the gain up on something to like 100%, I expect that to be like way too much gain. And on the CHUG pedal and even on the 𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏 to an extent, it's almost like I have to turn the gain up all the way just to get enough gain out of it, but that's okay. We can probably boost it. Why didn't I think of that? Let me get a pedal. How are you guys doing? Good? I hope so. I hope you're having the best day ever. Head bone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the patch cable. So normally I would use a tube screamer like this, and that's mostly just to tighten things up. In this case, I think I'm actually gonna turn up the drive knob to about there just to actually increase the overall saturation. Let's hear it. I haven't opened up all the way on the amp. Like if you look at the power amp controls on the amp, the presence and the depth are all the way up, and that's just so that I can control them a little bit more with the pedal. Yeah, it's a little bit hard. Like if you turn back the presence, it's almost like you end up cutting off too much of the high end. So it's kind of a little, there is a little bit of fizz in the top end, but it doesn't sound bad. Kind of sound I would expect from a high gain amplifier, to be honest with you. Let's maybe turn the mids up quite a bit there, and I'm just gonna ever so delicately back off this presence. I mean, we'll find out for sure here in just 1 second, but if I'm being real with you, I feel like the pedal actually has a little bit more low end and like thump and like balls than the actual amp does. Okay, let's just plug into the 𝗬𝗓 right now, just so that way you can A/B them back to back and get an idea of what that sounds like. All right, now we're plugged into the 𝗬𝗓. You can see the settings there. Let's turn this guy up and go. Okay, so with the Randall 𝗬𝗓, what I'm hearing in the room that might not translate over YouTube, it definitely sounds similar. Crazy, I know. Yeah, so if you're going for a Randall 𝗬𝗓 sound, like if that is your dream tone and you can't find one used or they're out of your price range or whatever, a Chug pedal is probably a good alternative if I'm being honest with you, dude. I think that they sound close enough to where you're probably gonna be in the same ballpark and be pretty happy with it if you like the tone of the 𝗬𝗓. Just saying. Okay, so now the other thing that I was getting asked for was comparing it to the Soldano pedal, but I explained that situation earlier. Let's plug in the Soldano mini head and see what that sounds like. All right, now we have the same Chug pedal configuration running into the effects loop return on the Soldano, so we're bypassing all the Soldano-ness of this and just using the power amp, which the power amp on these mini amps is very, very clean. So the pedal is gonna be what's making all the tone in this. We shouldn't have any coloration from the power amp. That's running into the same cabinet, same microphone configuration. Here's what it sounds like. Brutal, dude. This sounds really, really good, actually. Lacking a little bit of the low end from when I was running it through the 𝗬𝗓. Not super surprising. Obviously, we have a lot less headroom on this guy, so it sounds a little bit more compressed. It sounds like everything's a little bit more mid-focused and squished together. If you were, I don't know what it says on my dB meter back. Yeah, we're at like 104 dBs. It is really, really loud. And I really like this gate, if I'm being real with you, dude. It clamps down super quick. It's really tight. The fact that that is built into a pedal that already sounds really good is a big win in my opinion, but it hasn't won me over yet. Let's compare it to the Soldano SLO real quick. We'll just plug the Tube Screamer into the front of that guy and hear what that sounds like. All right, now we're plugged into the SLO Mini. Settings, I could probably dump the gain on this a little bit. Probably turn it to crunch mode too. Actually, let's turn it about like that. We have deep mode on. Let's hear what this sounds like by comparison. Okay, so right away, significantly less low end. The Soldano SLO, especially like in the mini formats, is probably not known for having like a really huge, thick and girthy low end, which is what I like in a high gain amplifier. So I already don't really vibe with the Soldano, so take that for what it is. I do think the Soldano Mini is a really cool sounding mini amplifier, but the Chug pedal plugged into the effects return of this amp sounds so much more inspiring, in my opinion. If you like that sort of thing, if you like a really, really thick low end, you like a really chunky guitar tone that's tight and has a built-in noise gate that is also super tight, then I think the Chug pedal just is voiced more for those type of players. At least that's what I'm experiencing right now in real time as you're watching this. Let's plug the Chug pedal back in, man. I just wanna chug. Okay, so final conclusions. I vibe with the Chug pedal. I vibe with it a lot. But that's my thing. I'm a big metalhead. If you're not a big metalhead, you might not be into the chug pedal. That's okay. It's totally fine for you to have your own opinions. What I really like about the chug pedal is it is a $200 pedal that you can use as a preamp. You can plug this directly into your audio interface and use like an IR in post to get a sound very similar to this one. You can do a lot with it. It's a very useful tool, and the fact that it has a built-in noise gate puts the value proposition just over the top for me. If it didn't have that built-in noise gate, I would be pretty like, on it, if I'm being real with you, because there's so many different options out there for preamp pedals. Now, if you wanted to go the digital route and go with modeling, yeah, you could cram a lot more stuff into a little box than you can with this pedal. But if you like analog things, you don't like to scroll through digital menus, you just want to be able to tweak the knobs and go, then this pedal is probably a rip it for you. But if you're more into sounds that you can find in something like a Soldano or like more Marshall-y rock tones, you might want to skip this one. All right, if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you would like to see here on the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.